Alright, today in this video we're going to talk about star args and star kwargs in Python. Now, in order to understand what these mean, we're going to need to do a little recap about Python functions, positional arguments, parameters, keyword arguments, all of those. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, I've told you in the past video that a function is just a reusable block of code that performs a specific task. Okay, so instead of writing something uh, over and over or repeatedly, you can just define a function that does that thing for you. So whenever you call that function, then that thing will be done. Okay, you just need to call the function whenever you want to use it. Okay, so that's the definition of a function. And then I told you the syntax of writing a function. You just have the def keyword and the name of the function, whichever name you want to choose, and then you type a set of parentheses, and then after the parentheses you type a colon, and then you indent, which means you just give some space under the def keyword. You just give some space in the next line, and then you type whatever it is you want to execute multiple times, so that whenever you are trying to use that function, you just need to call it. So we did something like print. In the video that I had about Python functions, we did something like print hello there, or I don't know, I forgot. Just um let's do a little different here. All right, so we can print something like, hey, I am Alamin and I am 25 years old. Okay, so and then I told you about function call. You can just type the name of the function and then you call it. So if I type in this and then I run this program, it will print this print statement, right? Let's do that. Okay, it says I am Alamin and I am 25 years old. Now, this is a lot of power right here, but the problem is if I call this function multiple times, for example, like I'm doing right now, I call it 3 times, so that means it's gonna print out the same message 3 times, which is not what we want. In most cases, you would not want to repeat something over and over like this. So let me clear this mess. Okay, so how do we make this reusable? That's the point here, because this function just returns the same message over and over again. So that's when I introduced you to parameters in my in my last video. So we can say something like, I don't know, name, which is kind of weird. Let me change the name of the function, introduce, and then here I'm gonna call introduce. All right, so you are gonna introduce yourself like, hello, I am, I don't know, what's my name. Let's type Alamin, that's my name, and then instead of typing name here, I can just do something like, okay, we have this message that says I am name, which is whatever name I've typed in here, and I am age years old. See, I am name, which is this name, whatever name we type in here, which means that this name has a local scope inside this function, so you can only use it inside this function. And I am age years old. Now this function will throw an error because I haven't specified age, so I need to say age here in order to make Python happy, and then here I can just provide age. Now these are called positional arguments, but I will run this program first. Okay, we have the same message like we did before. These are called positional arguments, like I told you, but why are they called positional arguments? It's easy. If I change this age and I cut it, okay, and then I put it before the name, you will see that now this name is now this 25 and this age is now this Alamin, which is kind of weird. So after I run the program, you see what I'm talking about. It says I am 25 and I am Alamin years old, which is very weird. Positional arguments are called what? Args. Okay, now there are also Kwargs, which are keyword arguments. Easy, right? So what are keyword arguments? Instead of writing stuff like this with positional arguments, with keyword arguments, you just specify what is what. So for example, here, even though the name is right at the edge and the end, I want it to come first, right? So I'm gonna say name equals, so I will set the name to this alarmin and then the age to this 25, and that's it. So if I rerun the program, we'll see this same old message, the correct message, because now I have specified it. So that's keyword arguments. All right, so now you know this age is called a parameter and this one is also a parameter, but the values provided to them are called arguments. Now if you set the name and the age as variables or something like that inside your function call, then they become what? Keyword arguments, or you can say that in short form, which is Kwargs, and positional arguments are args. Okay, and I hope that is clear. Okay, but if you can call clearly, I told you that functions are reusable. So how is this reusable? I mean, how can I make this function reusable function? All you gotta do is just duplicate the line, provide another name. For example, let's say Ali, and he is maybe, I don't know, 44 years old. So that's it. Now you'll have two different messages saying, I am, whatever the name is in the first instance, it's Alamin. In the second instance, it's going to be what? Ali. So let me run this program. Like this, we see now we have a reusable function that prints two different messages. I am Alamin and I am 25 years old, and also I am Ali and I am 44 years old. We can reuse this function no matter how many times we want. We can keep duplicating this and changing the values, and we just have a reusable function, right? If we rerun the program, we'll see the third message. So that's it. And if you look closely, this is similar to this print function. This is because this one is also a function. We can reuse it like across our entire project. We can reuse it multiple times, right? We can just do instead of just printing I am whatever I am, we can just print name and age. And then if we can get rid of this for 1 second and clear the terminal and then rerun the program, and we see Alamin 25, Ali 44, Mariam 45. So this is how we should make a reusable function, right? So let me clear all this place and reset my program to the default. Alright, and then take these out. Alright, so now there are also things like this. I'm gonna duplicate this. There are things called star args, and also there are things called star star Kwargs. So what are these? Let's do one by one. Since you already know that args means positional arguments, which are kind of these, if I remove this setting here, which are kind of these, right? Then star args means any number of positional arguments. That's it. So for example, if I type something like here, something like it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to type it as args. I mean, you don't have to type it as star args. You can type star name, names, since you're going to collect multiple, and this will work fine. You're going to create a tuple by these. So that means if I want to do something like this, I can just say Alamin 25, 40, 66. just write some, right? And then this print statement is now gonna throw an error. I'm just gonna print the names instead of just doing that sentence. Now if I do this, this introduce will give me a tuple. If you don't know what a tuple is, then I have a video in my videos list. Just check it out. You will find a video about tuple and other Python terms that are saved that you don't understand. Just check it out. I have videos about them. All right. Okay, so this will return a tuple to you. This names will return a tuple. It is right here. It just has a star, an asterisk, and if you want to use it, you just don't need the asterisk, because this just tells Python that, hey, I'm going to store a tuple here. That's it. Okay, so whatever you type in here gets stored inside a tuple. So if we print this, if we run the program, because we're already calling the function, I'm going to clear this, run the program. We'll see what we have. A tuple that says name, and then it has 11, 25, 40, 66, and so on. And I hope this is kind of making some sense to you. Now if this still doesn't click, meaning if this still you don't understand, it's okay. It's really okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you another example. Let's say you are writing a program that collects multiple numbers from multiple users, or from users, and then sum them. So the problem is that you don't know how many numbers each user is gonna type in. Okay, so that is when you can use something like star args. I'm gonna clear these and then rewrite all. Okay, so here you type def, and then you type in something like, I don't know, it says some numbers, some num. That is the name of our function, because we're gonna do a summation of numbers. So we write star args, which means we're gonna collect any number of positional arguments, right? And then this positional arguments, what we're gonna do with them, I told you that we're gonna sum them. We're gonna, collect them all and plus them, right? Add them together. So, but first we want to see these arguments, and then we print the sum of them. So we want to print uh, args, okay, and then also we want to print the sum of them. Sum, because Python has a function called sum, so we can just do something like this, sum, and then we do args. Okay, so it's gonna collect the sum of these numbers, and then print it out to us. But I just think that maybe we should put this inside a variable. So let me create this variable, and then just I think it looks better. So if we do this, we can call the function right below. We can just say some num, that is some numbers, and we just give it a bunch of numbers, and we can duplicate this line, and then we can do something like this. So if we rerun the program, we're gonna see that right now we have the tuple that we printed out here. This is the first line that we've printed out, and it's the tuple right here. And then we have the sum of this, which is total of what we have the sum of these numbers, which is 14. Sum of these, I mean, which is 14, and then the sum of these numbers, which is like 89,572, right? Okay, so let's do another recap about this star args thing. I told you it's just a Python thing that you put as a parameter, but instead of making it a positional argument, no, it's a positional argument, but it collects all the positional arguments that you've given, and then put them inside a tuple. Now that means you can use that tuple and do whatever it is you want that can be done with a tuple. That is it. Now, again, if you don't know what a tuple is, I already have a video you can check out, and you can find a video about tuples, inshallah. What about star star kwargs? What about these star star keyword arguments? As you may have already guessed, it means multiple keyword arguments. So you just collect multiple keyword arguments instead of multiple positional arguments. That's the only difference. If you collect these multiple keyword arguments, you can do whatever you want with them. Like you just can do as much with the positional arguments, right? Now, but I told you that positional arguments, which is the star args, when you collect them, they are put inside a tuple, which then you can use them inside your function. Now, what about the keyword args? If you collect the star star keyword args, they are being collected inside your function as a Python dictionary. Now, if you don't know what is a Python dictionary, then I have a video that you can check out, and inshallah I'll find a video that suits you. It's beginner friendly, something like that. All right. So if you ever need to pass in multiple keyword arguments, that is when you will use what star star kwargs. You want to see that in an example? Well, I bet you do. So let's do that. Let's say, for example, you want to define a function that is called display. Let's go with display info. Okay, and this function, it will take what? It will take star star kwargs, right? And then a colon, and then an indentation, as always. And then we want to print these key value pairs. So we want to print the kwargs just to see them, to see how they look like, what a Python dictionary looks like. If you've never seen that, you will see that today. So here, in order to get the key value pairs, we're going to use a for loop. Again, if you don't know what is a for loop, I have a video that explains exactly what is for loop in detail. All right, what are loops in general? I've explained that in the past. You can just check inside my videos, you'll find them. Right, so we do for, and then you can call the loop variable whatever you want, but I'm going to call it key because it is a key value pair thing, the dictionary. Okay, by the way, this is how to loop on dictionaries, Python dictionaries. So for key and the value, okay, you can call these whatever you want. You can call them for cow, sheep, it doesn't matter, just give them some name. Okay, for key value in keyword arguments dot items, you already know about this dot items and what it means if you have watched my Python dictionaries tutorial. If you haven't, you can feel free to go and watch it in my videos. Alright, so for key value in keyword arguments dot items, then you do what? You do a column, because we are going to indent under this for loop. What we're gonna do with it, we're just gonna print out it. We're just gonna print it out and say, like for example, we say key, okay, and then we say value. So we want to print them next to each other, right? So if we come here and call this function, then we give it some key value pairs. We want to call it display info. I want to say name, for example. So if we give it these key value pairs, okay, we give name Asia, age 35, and then city we give it as Bochi. Okay, so if we print this guy or this woman, this lady, we're gonna see that the information about her. That is our display info. What it does, we see name Asia, age 35, city Bochi. That is how our key value pairs are presented, and I hope this makes sense to you. Just know that these star star kwargs collect any number of uh, keyword arguments and then put them inside a dictionary so that you can use that dictionary and do whatever can be done in Python with Python dictionaries. That is it. And guess what? You can even use them together with the positional arguments. So I can come here and do something like Okay, if I do this, this is totally doable. I can come here and then print the positional arguments. Okay, so in here I need to specify some positional arguments. Okay, so now I have three positional arguments right before the keyword arguments, right? So I have borrow, 24, and true. If you want to use them together, you're gonna have to write the positional arguments first and then the keyword arguments. That's just the rule in Python. I don't know why they're just like that. So if we print this thing out, let's also print the, okay, I've already printed out the keyword arguments, so we can just rerun the program. Let me clear the terminal so we can run this program. We see that we have the positional arguments. We can even give them some label, something like that. I will say positional. So if I come here and then clear this terminal and rerun the program, we should see them with some label. See, we have positional, which are a tuple with lists of three items. List of three items. We have borrow, 24, and true. And then keyword arguments also have their list, which is now a dictionary with name set to Asia, age set to 35, and city set to Bochi. And then also we have the normal print thing that we have with our for loop. Right, so I hope you get some value out of this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.